All aboard. Things are really getting wild in this case, and things are only going to get wilder. But how does this all connect back to the Shadow Mastermind? Well, we'll find out. Alright, I've forgotten that there was a... just a moment, I need to find my place again. How about that? A little help from little old me, and y'all made a giant leap closer to solving the case. Closer? Sure, if by closer you mean we wound up going after the completely wrong kidnap victim. She must have barely looked at the photo at all. Oh, really? And here I thought I'd given y'all the tip of the century. My bad. It's not your fault. It's ours for putting our trust in unreliable sources. We'll just have to learn not to do that again. Hey, that ain't nice. I don't gotta give y'all no tips at all, you know, and I won't. Not if you're gonna be like that. Alright, fine, maybe just this one. But only because I got a real scoop for y'all this time. A real scoop, This should be good. Wait for the ad break. Fine, I'm not expecting much, but you got my attention. What is this scoop of yours? Proof, that's what! Proof the Taurosaurus really is real! Alright, Kay, we're leaving. Wait, I ain't lying, I swear! Sure, it's hard to believe, but it's true! We don't have time for this, but we also don't have much else to go on, I suppose. Proof? What kind of proof? Did you capture something on your tape recorder, perhaps? Ooh, you're good, Ruffles! Sharper than a gosh dang tack! I captured the sound of that big old beastie breathing fire is what I captured! I was hoping for something a little better than that. Hey, don't make that face, dang it! I ain't lying! Listen for yourself and tell me it ain't true! Alright, ready? It's fire breathing time, dagnabbit! There. Well? Kinda hard to tell over the shouting, but it could have been something breathing fire? Maybe? And tell me, Miss Lloyd, did you see this fire-breathing something with your own eyes? Well, not exactly with my eyes as such. Being as how I wasn't precisely close by when it happened. Surely the real Taurosaurus would be pretty hard to miss no matter how far away you were standing. Well, see, I was far away, but also recording via what you might call non-standard means. Would you mind explaining what you mean by that? No, I really dug myself a hole here, huh? See, I might could have rigged me up a little wireless intercept, hoping to do a little scoop detecting. That's so sad. Poor insect. Not an insect, Kay, an intercept. She was listening out for radio signals. It would have allowed her to listen in on any nearby transmissions. Me and the Chief have been down here at the big building sniffing around these last couple of days. Looking into Miss Hart's tip about the underground auction, I assume?
which would mean that you've been listening in on all the radio signals in the area, too.
Sure have, which is how I wound up hearing the most thunderous ear-splitting noise you ever did hear. The pattern of feet, the electricity in the air. This was it, Taurosaurus, at last. You made up everything except the roaring sound, didn't you?
The long and short of it is that you didn't actually see anything, correct?
Hey, I don't need to see things. I'm a rider, you hear? Anyhow, I kept listening till down the line comes your pal there's voice hollering fit to beat the band. Eavesdropping coward, why don't you come out and show yourself?
Huh? What was that sound? Our apologies for that. I'm sure Kay didn't mean to bowl you over with her little outburst. I assume it was as shocking as it was because you didn't hear it directly. It came through your headphones while you were listening to the signal from the bug, didn't it?
What? Are you saying she planted it? Hey, come on now, I ain't into no bugging, just a little lighthearted intercepting is all.
Would you mind if we borrowed the tape of what you recorded, Miss Lloyd?
Yeah, do what you danged well please.
Oh, Mr. Edgeworth! Oh, my mistake. Yeah, Mr. Saint, Miss Berry. How's the search going? Did you find him?
Not yet. Poor Sean.
Sean?
Oh, nothing. Just a slip of the tongue.
I guess they still don't know about the kidnapping. We did manage to find Eustace, yes. You did? That's that's great. Thanks so much. Now maybe they won't arrest me again.
Stop, Gummy! Why are you running away from us?
Detective Gumshoe. When you gave up your badge, sir, I didn't know what to do with myself.
You stay right where you are, Detective!
So I thought, if you weren't gonna be a prosecutor anymore, then maybe I shouldn't be a detective either. Well, I was wrong. Even if you're not around, I'll always be a detective. My job will always be to investigate crimes. And us detectives don't just investigate when prosecutors ask us to. We have to be able to look into stuff ourselves, too.
Is that what you were doing just now?
And back then, too.
You should thank your former subordinate for what I'm about to share. In his desperation to help Kay Faraday, he gave me a valuable piece of information.
Detective Gumshoe did that? So Rosie Ringer's autopsy report. When I went down to the detention center to see how Kay was doing,
When you get to my level, you don't uncover the truth, you make it, little by little. Kay Faraday, murderer. That's the truth I created. Yes, my boy, that's what I like to see.
You overheard that? Yeah, so I went back and looked over the evidence, dug out a little something I thought might help.
No way, Gummy! You're the best! I'd be in prison right now if it wasn't for you.
My pleasure, kid. Good to see you got your memory back, by the way.
Thanks.
So anyway, like I said, I'm investigating stuff for myself these days. And that's that.
Wait, Gummy, don't run off again. We get it. You can look at this stuff for yourself now. That's great. And it helped me right when I needed it most.
But right now, we need you to work with us. I'm no longer a prosecutor, or indeed in anything, but we're investigating a case regardless. And I ask you this not as a prosecutor, but as a friend. Detective Gumshoe, Will you help us? Aw, stop it, sir! You're killing me here!
Come on, Gummy!
Alright, I'll do it! Just stop bowing and being nice to me, okay? It's weird!
Gummy!
Thank you, Detective. So, what do you need? Can you tell us what you've discovered in the course of your investigations, Detective? Yes, sir! Sure I can! Alright, so I got 3 big things to tell you. Here goes. Number 1, I've got some results for you from when forensics looked at Kay's clothes. They found traces of what looked to be a powerful sedative. Brand was, 3Z's. I guess that's what she was drugged with at Gourd Lake, before she was taken to the roof of the big building. Sure seems that way. Now for number 2. I got hold of all the footage from that security camera in front of the big building elevator. The camera that captured President Wong and Judge Gavel that night. The elevator is usually the only way of getting up onto the roof, correct? And therefore anyone using it should have been caught on camera? That's right! So winding the tape back to 2 nights ago, we should have been able to see Kay being carried up there while she was out cold.
And? Did you spot me, Gummy?
I watched it all on fast forward, everything from 2 days ago till the end. Yes, and? Nothing. No sign of Kay anywhere. I thought it was too good to be true. So how did the kidnapper get her up there? I think we'll need to look into that in a little more detail. And the last item on your list? Yes, sir! This is the big one! The 3rd thing I have to tell you is... It's great to be working with you again! I'll help you catch this perp if it's the last thing I do! And that about wraps it up. I've put you through a lot, Detective, but that doesn't mean I can start going easy on you. That's the big one, as you put it? It doesn't even have anything to do with the case! I would have preferred something of practical use. Ooh, no mercy, huh? Guess I shouldn't have expected any less. Thanks, Mr. Edgeworth! A boy has been kidnapped. We need your help to find him. Kidnapped? Yes, his name is Sean Fenn. Oh, wait, the kid with the horns? You know him? I saw him earlier today. You mean this morning? Yeah, he got off that bus over there, and then he walked off toward the garbage disposal area.
Where's that?
Just over there. It's where all the offices in the big building put their trash before it gets taken away. Where he went after that, I couldn't tell you. I had to leave right around then. I think we'd better take a closer look at this garbage disposal area.
So, Sean walked off in this direction, huh?
It would seem so, yes. Perhaps we'll find some clues here as to his current whereabouts. I must scour the scene and inspect anything that catches my attention. This milk carton!
That's the same brand Sean drinks.
Something happened to him here. I'm almost certain of it.
So they keep it locked up tight, huh?
I guess they don't want non-residents disposing of their trash here. The trash is collected at 11 a.m. I guess that's why the enclosure is empty. There was a ton of stuff here earlier. Big stuff, too.
Today must be the day they take the big stuff away.
Yeah, sure looked that way.
I'll bet the big squisher machine squished it all up good anyhow.
They don't do that with the larger items. They just take them away as they are. They do, huh? How do you even know that, sir?
Wait, Mr. Fender's pretty keen for you to join him, right? I'll bet he sent you some kind of pamphlet on how to throw your stuff away for when you move office.
You're spookily insightful sometimes, Kay. But only sometimes. Based on what we've seen and what Detective Gumshoe told us, I think there's a strong possibility that Sean was abducted from the garbage disposal area.
Yeah, it's kind of out of the way of prying eyes, huh? But why would Sean even come here in the first place?
I imagine he must have had something to dispose of.
But the truck's already come and gone. Guess we'll never know what that something was now.
Only 2 vehicles came through here this morning, the taxi and a blue truck.
And Eustace was taken away in the taxi.
Right. While it seems that Sean was likely abducted from the garbage disposal area, and if the garbage was collected at 11 a.m. Oh, I get it! Now we know what kind of truck it was! Indeed, it must have been the garbage truck. But the police officer who told us about it didn't describe it as such. He only mentioned the fact that it was blue.
Heh, some cop he was. How did he not even notice it was one of those cool trash squishing machines?
Because it wasn't. Today isn't a regular garbage day. It's the day they collect larger items. For which they wouldn't use a specialized garbage truck, just a regular truck like any other. But it was a garbage truck nonetheless. And where do garbage trucks go? To the dump, right?
Wait a second! So you're saying the kidnapper disguised themselves as a trash collector? But then the truck would probably have been fake too, right? So maybe it didn't go to the dump.
No, I'm reasonably sure the garbage truck was real.
Yeah? How do you figure that?
Another look at the garbage disposal area should tell us. What tells us that the garbage truck must have been real?
Take that!
The garbage disposal area is kept locked.
Oh yeah! So only a real garbage collector in a real garbage truck could have opened it.
Precisely. The garbage truck can't have been a fake. Perhaps whoever abducted Sean put him in a large cardboard box that they'd prepared for the job. Now, mix that in amongst all the other oversized items.
And the garbage collector would have taken it away, no questions asked.
Exactly, allowing the kidnapper to await the truck's arrival at the garbage processing facility. They could then claim to have thrown the box away by mistake and collect it without incident.
Alright, so where do they take the garbage after it leaves here? Let's see. Looks like we have 2 possibilities.
But which of the garbage processing facilities was Sean taken to? Have we found anything that might serve as a clue? You're amazing, Mr. Edgeworth. How did you find Prosecutor Winner?
With some serious investigative magic, that's how!
It was pure luck, actually, but never mind. You didn't even need our help, huh?
That's not true! Thanks so much for joining in the search. Where did you look, by the way?
Oh, this place is a little way away called Sunshine Coliseum. Do you know it? Sunshine Coliseum. That's over by the harbor. There were a whole bunch of people there for a big event. We thought it might be worth a look.
You mean like a festival? Ooh, that sounds fun! Wish I could have gone and checked it out.
Oh yeah, it was super fun. There were food stands and fireworks.
Simeon didn't like the crowds much, but...
Hey, you don't have to tell them that.
Alright, it's decided. When this case is finally over, we're all going to the festival together.
It's kind of lucky you found Prosecutor Winner so quickly. Lucky? In what way? We have to go practice soon, for the show. We wouldn't have been able to help for much longer anyway. I see. I'm sorry to have kept you from your duties at the circus. Oh no, it's nothing to worry about, really. We were glad to help. I'll do anything if it helps make sure they don't arrest me again. You really helped me out by finding him. I'm so relieved.
Of course, just because they found him, that doesn't mean they'll find Warden Lagarde guilty.
What? You mean they might still throw me back in jail? No, I can't go back, I can't. Come on, Kay. Do you really have to torment the poor boy? Mr. Saint, you mentioned fireworks before. Huh? Fireworks? Yes, at the event at the Coliseum. Were they setting them off even during daylight hours? Oh yeah, a bunch went off while we were there.
What are you thinking, Mr. Edgeworth?
The loud bang we heard. What if that was a firework?
Ha!
Don't think for 1 second you'll get away with this!
Oh, don't worry. I'm counting on you at least trying to track me down. That'll be half the fun. Not that I rate your chances of bringing me to justice particularly highly.
For the bang to be clearly audible over the telephone, it must have been pretty loud.
Which means fireworks, which means the Coliseum. So the kidnapper was near there, right? But how near? If the fireworks were that loud, you could probably hear them from pretty far away.
Yes, the area we need to search would be too broad to even consider doing it ourselves. But if the police were to lend a hand... So, based on the loud bang we heard on the phone call, we know that the kidnapper was somewhere in the vicinity of Sunshine Coliseum.
And one of the garbage facilities is right by there, too.
I think it's likely that's where Sean was taken. Which means the kidnapper must be holding him somewhere near there. Detective Gumshoe. Yes, sir. Could I ask you and your men to search the area around the garbage facility? It's not like you to ask, sir. Feels a little flat if I'm being totally honest. Why don't you give me a good old-fashioned order, huh? Like you used to. You don't mind? Even though I'm not a prosecutor anymore? I thought I told you already. A detective investigates for himself, not just for prosecutors. Thank you.
Mr. Edgeworth, we're almost out of time.
You're right. We need to hurry. I doubt Judge Gavel and the others can hold out much longer. I'm counting on you, Detective Gumshoe. I won't let you down, sir. It won't be an official search, but I'll put my best guys on it. You can count on that.
I'm coming too, Gummy. I promised I'd snatch Sean from the jaws of danger, and that's just what I'm going to do.
I'll head back to the courthouse. Who knows? I may be able to drag proceedings out just a little longer.
All right, with me, everybody, even in the depths of night.
God, it's already striking 2. There isn't a moment to lose. Yes, sir.
But I didn't finish. When no other bird dares to take flight. Well, if it isn't our old friend, ex-prosecutor Edgeworth. Hello, dear boy.
Excelsius winner.
The accused will turn around and face the prosecution. I'm not done with you yet. I already told you, Franziska. It doesn't make sense. Why would I help her? I feel for her, of course. A woman in her prime sent to prison. It's enough to make a grown man cry. But to suppress evidence in order to keep her out of a jail cell? No, that's preposterous.
Objection!
But we have a statement from your own son. He says he entrusted the evidence to your care. I'm afraid I don't know what he's talking about. Or why he'd say such a thing. I don't know what's gotten into him lately.
Objection!
What if I could prove that you and Warden Lagarde are much more closely associated than you claim?
I'm sorry. Prove?
I think we've been over this, dear boy. You're an ex-prosecutor, remember? Are you even allowed in this part of the courtroom anymore?
Miles Edgeworth! I'm the one prosecuting this case! What are you thinking barging in like this?
I'm sorry, Franziska, but it's important. May I speak on behalf of the prosecution just briefly?
What are you doing?
Judge Gavel, I come before the court with important new evidence. I ask that you allow me to present it. Oh, have you lost your mind, dear boy? There's no way this can be allowed.
Objection!
Well, the defense hopes you'll let him, G. Just saying. What's the thinking over on the prosecution side there, Frandango?
Fine. The prosecution has no objections.
Objection!
Your objections are neither here nor there. This isn't a democracy, it's a courtroom. And this is flagrant contempt. Isn't that right, Verity? No! As long as Sean's still missing, she'll feel she has no choice but to go along with whatever winner wants. If only there was some way of telling her he might be found at any moment. Judge Gavel, I would ask only this, that you trust in me and in my assistant. Just this once.
Speaking of which, where is Kay Faraday?
She's currently searching for the most important piece of evidence of all.
Objection!
Nonsense! There's no more evidence to be found! You're just stalling for time!
Objection!
The most important piece of evidence of all, eh? Hey, gee, I don't know what this evidence is, but maybe we should trust in Miles' little pal. What do you say? I mean, I say little pal, but she's way more than that. She's the one and only great thief Yatagarasu. It seems Fender has sensed what I'm getting at least. Judge Gavel! The evidence I'm talking about, we're almost certain we know where it is. Kay is only moments away from snatching it from the jaws of danger.
Very well. This is highly irregular, but I will allow it.
You have my thanks.
Have you all gone completely mad?
You said you had important new evidence. Evidence of what exactly?
Just what I said, that Warden Lagarde and Chairman Winner are far better acquainted than he claims. Allow me to present it to you. What proves the link between Excelsius Winner and Fifi Lagarde?
Take that!
This document is a report regarding the interrogation of a certain someone. Oh yeah? Who might that be? The late Mr. Bronco Knight. And the interrogation was to be carried out by none other than Warden Lagarde. Wait, is that the interrogation where... Yes, where Knight was killed. This document shows Warden Lagarde planning the interrogation in which Mr. Knight was murdered.
This is indeed important evidence.
Objection!
Miles Edgeworth, you referred to the document in question as a report. Would you care to elaborate? To whom was this report addressed?
A very good question, Miss Von Karma. And the answer is the most important new revelation of all. We recovered this document from a safe in the storeroom on the 51st floor of the big building. That's the storeroom where the lots for the underground auction were kept. It is an auction, if you recall, that was presided over by one Excelsius Winner. And that is to whom the report in question was addressed. Do you still mean to insist that you and Warden Lagarde barely knew one another? I'll refrain from commenting on that matter for the moment, if you don't mind. What? I don't believe it's been conclusively proven that I was the auctioneer yet, has it? Have you forgotten the events of this morning already? I think I proved that fact more than adequately. I'll admit defeat in that particular arena, yes, but that was not the courtroom. Can you prove the same thing here, my boy? That I was the ringleader, did you call it? If you can't, then, well, you certainly can't prove that the report was addressed to me. You won't wriggle your way out of this one. So unfair. Tell him, Verity, please. I'm not being slippery at all.
I'm being entirely reasonable, wouldn't you say? Unlike you when you permitted Mr. Edgeworth this bizarre interlude. That was most unlike you. It's saddening, truly it is, to see you failing in your sacred duty to the law. Almost saddening enough to make me want to take drastic measures. You're right, of course. Until a fact has been adequately proven in the courtroom, it cannot truly be considered a fact. I am afraid I have no choice but to ask that Mr. Edgeworth's theory be struck from the record.
It's no good. She has to know for certain that Sean is safe.
I'm sorry, my boy, but what counts as truth out in the field and in the courtroom are two different things.
And you're more than willing to bend the truth in the courtroom. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, you're a scurrilous soul. I'll do no such thing. I'll simply accept the court's verdict as the truth, should it choose to acquit me, as should you.
If we can't find that missing evidence, we're in trouble here.
Well, Verity, I think we've heard about all we need to, don't you? There's no way that evidence is turning up. Ever. A quick not guilty and we can all go home.
Objection!
Who said that? Dad!
Eustace. What are you doing here?
Mr. Winner, what is the meaning of this? And where have you been? You can't just abandon your duties like that. I'm sorry, You are unfit to be a prosecutor. You're a complete and utter disgrace.
Why, Eustace? Why can't you not get it into your head? This is no place for an incompetent fool like you!
Dad, I brought some vital evidence! So, can I please, take my place on the prosecutor's bench? Pretty please? Well, well, Eustace. This is certainly a surprise.
Objection!
Oh! Eustace, my boy, what's gotten into you? There's something different about you. What's going on?
Dad,
Come on, my boy, spit it out. What is it? You want Daddy to play catch with you? That's it, isn't it? All right. Why don't you run along home and I'll be with you soon.
Get back on the stand right now!
What's gotten into you, child? You're shaking like a leaf.
Hello, Mixon.
Objection!
Judge Gavel! The prosecutor in charge has arrived, along with important new evidence. This trial is far from over. Surely you can't call an end to proceedings just yet?
No objections from Team Defense. Only wish we could have our own original team captain say that herself, though.
The prosecution has no objections either.
You think this farce is going to continue? There's no chance of that. None at all. Isn't that right, Verity?
He still thinks he was successful in his bid to kidnap Sean, but we know different. Sadly, as long as the boy remains missing, nothing changes. Judge Gavel's hands are still tied. That sound! That's her cell phone! Huh? Mine is also ringing. Whoa, I'm getting a call too. Mr. Edgeworth!
Mr. Fender!
We found Sean!
We found Sean!
Detective, you did it! The most important piece of evidence of all, huh? That's some stellar work, your great thiefness.
Thanks! We just thought you should know right away. See you all soon!
Unless everyone's shocked to someone electrocuting. No. Judge Gavel, it's for you.
Hello? Yes, I understand.
I know, it's pretty good art. And it's only been remastered here as well. You know, it's slightly more pixely in the original.
I'm so glad you're safe. Be sure to thank everybody properly. You'll do that for me, won't you? All right, be careful. I'll see you back at home. The proceedings will continue. I feel a certain freedom returning to my hammer arm.
No! How? Is this some idiotic joke?
It is no such thing. The witness will return to the stand. And Mr. Winner will step up to the prosecutor's bench. Yes, ma'am. Eustace Winner. Yeah? I leave matters in your hands. Huh? Facing down your own father. This won't be easy. I'll be looking on with interest. Don't disappoint me. Very well. Is the prosecution ready to proceed? Mr. Winner, you mentioned some evidence that you wish to present to the court? Yeah, so, the knife and the chisel.
Whoa, you tracked down the missing murder majigs?
Well, Mr. Winner, did you? About that, No, I couldn't find them. I searched everywhere, but I was too late.
Too late? How so?
I remembered something. I saw Dad in the garage this morning. He was carrying something wrapped in newspaper. Where are you going, Dad?
Oh, Eustace, I was, just on my way to throw out some trash.
And then I heard this tinkling sound.
Tinkling, huh? Let me guess. The bell from Mr. Canis' chisel!
You mean to tell the court that you believe the witness disposed of the evidence? I tried. I tried my best, but I was too late. I'm sorry.
You said you looked everywhere. Everywhere where?
Literally everywhere. I even went to the dump. I got down on my hands and knees and dug through the garbage. I figured that stuff had to be in there somewhere.
Wait, that's Eustace?
Huh? Hey, what are you doing here? Ah! Rude. He totally ignored me.
So that's what he was doing. And he even went so far as to search the dump.
But, all I found was this. And this is a little pungent for one thing.
Yeah, and you're a little on the ripe side yourself, kiddo. I can smell you from here.
But what do you expect?
And the knife?
It's probably somewhere in among all that trash. But there was too much to go through on my own. Very well. The court will accept the item you have presented into evidence.
Oh! You really have outdone yourself, Eustace. You never failed to disappoint, dear boy. You dug through rotting garbage with your bare hands, and that's all you have to show for it? Ha! Ah, you drop me to tears. Really, you do.
Objection!
Might be a little soon to turn on the waterworks just yet, Dad. Let's take a closer look first. If you wish to waste your time, be my guest. Hey, Eustace, Miles, do this devastatingly handsome old defense attorney a favor, will you? Hit this guy full in the face with the truth. It seems Fender's on board. Good. Then let's see if we can't find an opening. Mr. Winner, could you show me the piece of evidence you found? Sure. Let's open it up, shall we? We can only hope there's something of value inside. Could this be the bell that was on Mr. Canis's chisel? Perhaps there's some trace evidence that can prove one way or the other. It's no good. Look at it. It's spotless. Well, Mr. Winner? Do tell. Was there anything interesting inside your little scrap of paper? Of course there wasn't. Why would there be? Why was it even accepted into evidence? It's literally a piece of trash. Sorry, gentlemen, but the truth hurts. Were Eustace's efforts for nothing? It's true the bell may not be of much use to us as evidence. Nonetheless... Come on, Edgeworth, we can't give up yet! As calm and collected as ever, I see, Miles. Unlike my poor idiot son there.
Are we to assume that the prosecution has nothing more to say on the matter? Very well.
Objection!
Not so fast, Gavel! We're not done yet! There's one thing we still haven't looked at properly.
Really, my boy? You want us to believe there's more? Desperation is never a good look, you know. It seems Eustace isn't quite ready to give up just yet. And for once, I think we're both thinking the same thing. Namely, that we might not necessarily be dealing with a useless piece of trash. We can't know for sure without looking more closely, but if I'm right, we're talking about... I'm talking about the piece of newspaper the bell was wrapped in! Seems we really were thinking the same thing. Ah, it's beautiful. It is. Tear-jerkingly so. Some might call it heroic optimism. Some might call it clutching at straws. But whatever one calls it, to put all one's faith in a worthless piece of garbage, that takes belief. Huh. Let's take a closer look and see if it's as worthless as you say, shall we? Eustace, if you'd be so kind. Are these finger marks? And look, it's covered in some sort of oil. Judge Gavel, I'd like to have this examined for fingerprints. Could I request that you call on somebody from forensics? Very well. Summon a technician right away. I have the results, Your Honor. It's been confirmed that these are finger marks. Unfortunately, it looks like they were made by somebody wearing gloves. No! Oh dear. Well, that doesn't give you very much in the way of evidence, does it? But I suppose it makes sense if you think about it. After all, this was important evidence. And what kind of idiot would handle something like that without gloves on? Oh, that's right. The kind that would flail about desperately like you, my boy. Wow. Way to talk to your kid, Super Dad. I'm merely calling a spade, or in this case, an idiot's an idiot. Real winners know to keep their emotions out of things. And take no pity on the weak and the foolish, including their own ineffective offspring.
Dad!
You spent the last who knows how long proclaiming yourself to be a prize-winning prosecutor. But thanks to my little pep talk this morning, you finally know exactly how those prizes were won. It was all thanks to me. Thanks to the power I wield. You've never stood on your own 2 feet. You've always been coddled. First by me, then by Verity.
Dad!
Oh, dry your garbage-smelling tears.
Garbage smelling?
Not that it's a stench that doesn't suit you. Even if it doesn't make me turn up my nose in disgust.
Objection!
No, you're wrong!
I am, my boy. Wrong about what?
I'm not the one that smells! You are!
What did you say?
Yeah, you smell, and you don't even realize it. You couldn't hide it even if you wanted to. Edgeworth, take a sniff, right there where the finger marks are.
You want me to smell it? Is that oil?
Yup, and I know where it came from.
Wait, I know it from somewhere too. It smells of engine oil in here. I guess Winner Senior must be something of a motorhead.
You're missing Eustace become a real winner. That odor tells us something important. It tells us exactly who threw this piece of evidence away. But I guess my dad's right. I guess I'll never be a real winner.
Yeah, it's time for the bitch to become a man. Yes.
I'll never be able to keep my emotions out of things. And I'll never be able to stand up to him no matter what he's done.
Eustace. Be strong, Eustace. Remember what you told me. You said you were going to be different from your father. A different kind of prosecutor. And you are a prosecutor. We both are. That's why we're standing here in this courtroom. A prosecutor's highest responsibility is to the truth, to see that it comes to light no matter what. We expose crimes, and we see that their perpetrators are punished, no matter who they may be. So if you truly mean to continue on as a prosecutor, you know what you have to do. I made you a promise. I said that if you could summon the courage to find your feet again, I'd help you. This isn't something you should have to do alone. I'm here. I'm right beside you.
Thanks, Edgeworth. You're right! Those finger marks tie my dad to this crime. We just need to show everybody how!
Take that!
The smell you pointed out to me, Eustace, it's the smell of engine oil, isn't it? Motorcycle oil, even.
Yup, and we've both smelled it before in the same place.
Yes, in Chairman Winner's garage. What's more, these finger marks feature some distinctive patterns, don't they? The outlines of the letters D, E, A, T, and H, the same letters that appear on the fingers of these gloves.
Objection!
Oh, gloves that can be bought in any store. How does that prove anything, dear boy?
Objection!
How indeed. That's not the only thing that connects your gloves to the piece of newspaper we found.
Let's look again at the scrap of paper the bell was wrapped in. And compare it to the gloves we found in Chairman Winner's garage. There's a feature that undeniably connects the two.
Take that!
Look at the letter A on the finger. Half of it is missing, exactly as it is in the print on the newspaper. What? I would also like to draw the court's attention to the dirt the gloves are covered in. I think it might be worth having its composition compared to that of the dirt on the newspaper. A match would make for even stronger evidence that the print was made by Chairman Winner's gloves.
Officer, have the dirt on these two pieces of evidence compared right away.
Ah! Curse you, Edgeworth, and you, Eustace! Who do you think you are? You're nothing but mere prosecutors!
Sorry, Dad. I think it's time you admitted defeat. You suppressed vital evidence, and we just proved that in a court of law. And you did it to try and protect the defendant.
What? Do you think you're going to be able to make that stick? You think they'll send me to prison? Me? You think you'll be the one to finally take me down? You're a fool, child! A fool!
Objection!
Just give it up, Dad. Admit what you did.
Objection!
You think you'll stand a chance without me around? You won't last 5 minutes!
You know what? I think I might be okay. All I ever wanted was to become a prosecutor, to make you proud. But after your men kidnapped me, and I was lying there in the dark all on my own, I got to thinking how powerless I was in all of this because of you. I almost gave up. I almost lost sight of the truth. But then Edgeworth appeared out of nowhere and showed me a way forward. I don't need your approval anymore. And I don't need you! After all, I found that evidence on my own, didn't I?
My man kidnapped you? What are you talking about?
Objection!
I guess the courtroom is as good a place as any to tell you the truth, Dad.
Be careful what you say to me, boy. You may live to regret it. You're a fool, Eustace, and you always will be.
I know you've hated me for as long as I can remember, but I want you to know that despite it all, I've always looked up to you as my dad. Thanks for everything, Excelsius. And goodbye.
You! When did you? You need me, dang it! You can't possibly survive without me! Eustace!
The court hereby accepts that vital evidence in this case was suppressed by Chairman Winner. That crime will be tried and an appropriate punishment decided at a future date. But for now, we must turn to the matter of the knife and the chisel, which still have not been found. However, I believe a full search of the garbage facility may well remedy that. What? You're going to dig through all that trash for the knife, darling? But then...
Don't worry, Warden Lagarde. I'm sure your punishment won't be too unpleasant.
Oh, you devil! Punished? Moi? Impossible! Excelsius, you blithering buffoon! What did you do? What did you do? All your swaggering bluster about how they never declared me guilty, and now this! You were the one I went to after they arrested me because you made me believe I could trust you! And not only did you kidnap a child to try and help me, it didn't even work! Idiot! You feckless, useless idiot of a man!
An unsightly outburst, to say the least. But an informative one, too. Wouldn't you agree, Eustace?
Yeah, she really let some juicy info slip there, right? She did, right?
Yes, she did. We really need to work on your confidence.
Very well. Then it seems we may be able to bring these proceedings to an end at last.
Not so fast!
What? Huh? Who's that?
Sorry, Judge Gavel. Your happy ending will have to wait. Langsy says, the end of the trial is not necessarily the end of the matter.
Who are you?
Just a lowly lone wolf investigator by the name of Shilong Lang.
And you have some sort of objection to these proceedings, I take it?
Ha! Not really. Your suspect over there is guilty for sure. Guiltier than you know.
Lang? Like the Lang from 12 years ago?
Yup. Good to see that you're finally about to pay for your crimes.
even if it did take a while for you to get what was coming to you.
Agent Lang, explain yourself!
Are you familiar with the SS5 incident? I certainly am. It happened 12 years back.
Wait, 12 years?
Look, a lot happened, okay? This was all 12 years ago or more. My father and the president being friends, our family being the ones who kept him safe. He just changed one day. It was like he became a different person. Now he doesn't trust the police one bit.
I wonder what happened 12 years ago. Could this all be connected to Agent Lang's father and his relationship with the president somehow?
Fifi Lagarde and Excelsius winner. In the flesh. I've waited a long time for this day. After all, you're the ones who threw my family name into the dirt.
Are we to assume that you have some personal connection to the incident in question?
I do, but I'm not here to talk about the past. Not yet, anyhow. Right now, I'm here for you, Gavel.
Me?
You and one other person.
Sean!
You're both under arrest. On suspicion of having conspired to murder Daijun Wang, president of Zhangfa.
Objection!
Where is your evidence, Agent Lang?
Not so fast!
All in good time, Mr. Prosecutor. We haven't even started our investigation yet. I want my suspects on the scene with me while I look everything over again.
What have you uncovered, Agent Lang? I need to know.
If you've got a problem, you're more than welcome to tag along.
Oh, believe me, I will. The end of the trial is not necessarily the end of the matter. We certainly haven't come anywhere close to solving the mystery of the president's murder, or uncovering the truth behind these so-called monster sightings.
Oh, don't worry. I'm counting on you at least trying to track me down. That'll be half the fun. Not that I rate your chances of bringing me to justice particularly highly.
Or figuring out who that was on the phone. Yes, I'd say the matter is far from over yet. Could you maybe calm down a little?
Calm down? No way, Jose! Not until y'all come clean! It's for your own good, dang it! Our intrepid reporters refuse to give up, even in the face of repeated stonewalling from the crew!
Yeah, the lad. Look, you ladies need to stop harassing these people, or I'll have to ask you to.
You cops sure got a lot of nerve! Y'all are the ones who let Taurosaurus run wild! Hoping to hide the fact that they bred this menace themselves, the staff cling desperately to their story. Look, we're really not breeding anything. This is a movie set. Says the gal who told me she done seen Gordy with her own danged eyes. I saw something, but that doesn't mean we're keeping monsters here. All right, break it up. Oh, Mr. Edgeworth.
And Sean!
Y'all are on the trail of this here monster infestation too, huh? No, we're on the trail of a criminal. Langzi says, the darkness of a criminal's heart can sometimes be compared to a monster. That is to say, a killer is no different from a monster, really.
Agent Lang, this is highly irregular, sir. We can't allow members of the public onto the crime scene.
These people are important witnesses. I need them to be here.
Well, Agent Lang, here we are. Where do you intend to begin?
Let's start by summing up the facts.
President Wong's body was discovered here this morning. He hadn't been seen since the night before last.
Yes, he slipped off without his bodyguards noticing, if I remember correctly.
So he was missing for over a day. And the last person to see him alive was you, Judge Gavel, on the roof of the big building. Why did the two of you arrange to meet?
I'm sorry, but I can't say. Not even to defend yourself from an accusation of murder?
Why? Why can't you just tell us?
Please, Judge Gavel, we're trying to help you.
Not so fast!
Ha! She can't say because she'll only incriminate herself more. I know you had something to do with the president's murder, and I'm going to prove it.
Objection!
You said yourself that the body was only found this morning. How do you explain the time that passed between Judge Gavel's meeting with the president and then?
Not so fast!
That's exactly what I'm hoping we're about to find out. I'm particularly interested in what happened last night. So why don't you tell us exactly how it all went down? Sean Fenn?
Me?
We know you were here on the set last night.
You were, Sean?
We have testimony from the woman over there and forensic evidence from the footprints that proves it.
You came back to run your lines, right?
What? You were spying on me?
I'm sorry. I was just making sure you were okay. It was late. I was worried about you.
How many times do I have to tell you? You don't need to worry about me.
Sean, that's no way to talk to an adult. She was trying to look out for you. Apologize this instant.
Sorry.
I've told you before, I won't have you speaking to people that way. Wow, this is a whole new Judge Gavel. It seems she's just as strict with her son as she is with those who break the law. Are you listening to me? If I've told you once, I've told you 1,000 times. You must... Mom mode activated. Correct. Anyway, ad break. And I want you to remember that, all right?
Not so fast!
Can we get on with the investigation now?
Oh, of course. Forgive me. I don't think I've ever seen her so passionate about anything. I guess Judge Gavel, the mother, will take a little getting used to. Are we to understand that you're accusing Sean of being involved somehow, Agent Lang?
I just want the truth. I need to know why the president was killed. And by who. And I don't care what it takes. I'm going to find out.
I guess it makes sense for him to be so determined. The president was practically family to him. All right. Sean, perhaps you could tell us what happened last night?
Fine by me. I've got nothing to hide. I had a bad day yesterday. Messed up a couple of takes. We were scheduled to shoot the same scene again today. So I thought I'd put in some extra practice. And that's what I did. It's that simple. It's not like I haven't done it before. It was fine. Nothing happened.
You've been rehearsing late at night again? But when I called you yesterday evening, Sean, you said you were at the hotel. You called him around what time? It must have been 11 p.m. or thereabouts. It's one of our rules. When Sean stays away from home, we have to speak every night.
Yeah, well, I wasn't at the hotel. I was here on set.
So you lied to me?
Sorry.
Ooh, now she's mad. I think it's kind of amazing how hard she wants to work on his acting. He wants to work on his acting, though. Nonetheless, a parent can't help but worry. Her child alone, late at night, anything could happen to him.
And indeed it did. He got himself entangled in this case.
But he said nothing happened, right?
He did, although I can't help but wonder if he was telling the truth.
Objection!
Nothing happened. I'm sorry, but you're lying. The model of Taurosaurus's head fell from the roof of that trailer last night. Did you expect us to believe that you knew nothing about that?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Is that so?
I told you, I ran my lines, I went home. That was it. What do you know about some stupid falling head? Or are you saying you can prove I know something?
Sadly not. It's entirely possible that the head fell after Sean left.
No proof, huh? Then this conversation is over.
Objection!
No, it's not!
What?
The head falling from the roof isn't the only strange thing about last night. And I'm certain you know what else I'm thinking of. What other unusual occurrence happened yesterday evening?
Take that!
This proves it beyond a doubt.
Wait! How did you...
That's right, your rehearsal tape.
What? You have video footage from last night?
We do, and if you watch it, you'll see that it was no ordinary evening.
But there's a footprint there already!
There is, and I'm not sure that's an everyday sight even on a film set. Sean, why would you keep this from me?
No reason.
Not so fast!
Liar! That stuff might work on your mommy, kid, but it's not going to work on me! Why did you hide the tape?
Sean, you have to tell us. You?
Look, I just didn't want anybody to see me rehearsing, okay? I don't like it.
So you were embarrassed? Is that it?
Yeah, what's so weird about that?
Not so fast!
That's why you didn't hand over vital evidence!
Sean, how could you?
Yeah! Oh, give me a break. You know about it now, don't you? Sure, the footprint was there, but I just ran my lines and went home. That was it. What? Nothing about the giant monster footprint struck you as weird? It's a giant monster footprint! On the set of a giant monster movie. It's not like there isn't all kinds of other weird stuff around here. I don't buy for a second. Chief, there's something hickey about this kid, sure as I'm standing right here. Dang Skippy there is. He's hiding a scoop under them there horns, or my name ain't Lotta Hart. Shut up, both of you. I'm done talking.
Not so fast!
Hold it right there.
What is it, Agent Lang? Box for both.
So, it's just as I thought. Thanks, Mr. Prosecutor. This footage of yours backs up my theory nicely. What? There was something else on that tape? Yep. Look closely. See the costume up in the top left? Oh yeah, the Taurosaurus suit. Something's different. Do you see it? I'm not sure. He's just kinda hanging out and looking a little saggy. Oh, and the zipper on his back is done up tight.
The zipper?
Huh? That's... Yeah, I guess you all see it now, right? On the tape, the zipper is wide open. Why? Because somebody's inside the suit, that's why. What?
Mr. Powers, that zipper, what can you tell us about it?
Well, we always close it up tight when the suit isn't in use.
That's right, Mr. Prosecutor. And do you remember something else I said not so long ago? Let me refresh your memory. What if your friend Gavel pushed the president off of the big building the night before last, and then came down here to the movie set and hid the body somewhere?
Here? But where?
There's all kinds of stuff down here. Costumes, equipment, you could hide it anywhere. And then come back a day later, last night in other words, and take it out again.
You're saying the body could have been hidden in the Taurosaurus suit?
That's exactly what I'm saying. Isn't that right, Gavel? You pushed the president off of the roof, just like I said. Then you hid his body inside that costume.
I most certainly did not.
Not so fast!
Protest all you like, I'm not going to believe you. You're the only person who could have done this.
Objection!
I thought we already proved that would have been impossible. The movie set was locked at the time. There's no way Judge Gavel could have been able to get in here.
Not so fast!
What if she had an accomplice?
What?
I've got a little theory for you. I think you're going to like it. What if Sean was waiting down here when Gavel pushed the president off of the roof? If the two of them were working together, the problem of the lock goes away. They then work to hide the body together too, by dragging it over to the Taurosaurus suit and stuffing it inside.
You think the murder was really that carefully planned?
It was the assassination of a world leader. It could only have been carefully planned.
Overruled!
To suggest that Sean could have been involved in this it's unthinkable!
Not so fast!
You're my prime suspect. What makes you think I'm going to listen to a word you say?
But what about motive? What reason would either of them have to kill President Wong?
Who knows, but we'll find out soon enough. She was the last one to meet with him, and she won't tell us why. Pretty darn suspicious, even you have to agree with that.
Judge Gavel, I don't suppose I can convince you to share any more details. My apologies, but that is the one thing I cannot do. However, rest assured, should that ever change, you will be the first to know. So please, you...
Have to believe me? Yeah, murderers have a habit of saying that. What about you, kid? Any weak excuses to offer? If so, now's the time to get them off your chest. I've got nothing to say to you. I'm innocent. Both as tight-lipped as each other, huh? But let me guess, you're still going to try and stick up for them?
It's true. Judge Gavel's actions certainly make her seem suspicious. But nothing she has told us amounts to a motive for murder, or even the suggestion of one.
No, and like I said, I'm leaving motive aside for now. For the moment, I'm focusing on means and opportunity. And for my money, these two had to be working together for their little plot to succeed.
Hold it!
The video footage doesn't show the inside of the suit. You can't say for certain that there was a body in there at the time, can you?
Maybe not, but we can take a look right now. Let's open it up and see what's inside. I put money on us finding proof it was there.
Do you mind if we examine the suit, Mr. Powers? Oh, not at all. Might be a little ripe, though. Gets pretty sweaty in there. Huh, it's filthy. Yeah, that's weird. I always clean it out pretty good. If you don't, it can get kinda moldy.
Not so fast!
In other words, what we're looking at is proof that somebody other than you used the costume. That dirt in there must have come from the body. I guess the president was lying right in the middle of that footprint. He probably would have gotten pretty dirty. Exactly. Well, everybody happy? The inside of the suit is covered with dirt. It must be from when the body was hidden there.
Objection!
So our assumption is that the inside of the suit is dirty because the dirt came from the body. Would it be safe to say that's the case?
Why? Is there a problem?
The part of the suit directly in front of the opening is particularly dirty.
Yeah, it really is.
But look at the victim. The area of his body that would have been in contact with that part of the suit isn't dirty at all. If the victim had been crammed in there as you suggest, his chest would surely be covered in dirt.
Gah! Fine, so what's your explanation? How did all that dirt get inside there?
Based on the videotape, there may well have been somebody in the suit at the time. So who was it if it wasn't the president?
Come on, Kay, think. Where was it?
Is something the matter, Kay?
I've seen dirt like that somewhere else, I'm sure of it. I just can't think where. Dirt with weird little gray bits in it.
Gray bits. She's right. There is something mixed in there.
It was stuck to something else we looked at. Lots of it.
Stuck to something we looked at? An item of evidence, maybe? It's probably worth checking. Does one of the items we found have a similar kind of dirt stuck to it?
Take that!
As Kay pointed out, the dirt in the suit contains small flecks of something gray.
Uh-huh. And?
We discovered similar flecks stuck to an item belonging to somebody we recently had dealings with. The item in question being these gloves.
You're right. The dirt does look similar. But so what? What are you saying this stuff is? What exactly are these gray flecks of yours?
I believe the gray flecks are... Surely they're flecks of concrete?
Oh, like all the little broken up bits around the footprints, you mean?
Exactly. And who did the gloves on which we found similar dirt and gray flecks belong to?
Chairman Winter! We found them in his garage.
That's right. We visited the garage at his home earlier today. And we found a pair of mechanic's gloves covered in dirt. And if I recall correctly, a sledgehammer and a shovel too. Why would a pair of mechanic's gloves be covered in dirt? I'll tell you why. Because somebody wore them while they used that hammer and shovel. They smashed through the concrete to the dirt below, staining the gloves with both substances.
Wait, so you're saying...
Yes, that we finally know what these footprints really are. It seems highly likely that they were dug by Chairman Winter.
Not so fast!
Highly likely? Pah! If that's so, then tell me this. Why the heck did he make them? What purpose could they possibly serve?
Why indeed? I imagine he must have been... I think he must have been digging something up. I imagine events unfolded somewhat like this. There was something on this lot that he needed to unearth. In order to do so, he cut the chain on the side entrance and gained access from there. He then used the sledgehammer and shovel to dig the three footprints. When he found what he was looking for, he backed it up and filled in all of the holes.
Ah, but then Sean must have showed up, right?
I think he did, yes. Chairman Winter would have had to find a hiding place, and the Taurosaurus suit provided just that.
Gah. You've got all that from a pair of dirty gloves? It's good, but it's all just speculation. We don't have any proof that he was inside that suit. He could have dug those holes and gotten out of here before the kid even showed up.
Objection!
But he didn't, and there's proof of that right there in the footage. It shows that Chairman Winter was still present when this recording was made.
What?
It's a shame that Agent Lang didn't notice it himself. But if we compare the situation as we see it now, to the situation as it appears on Sean's rehearsal tape, and compare that in turn to what we saw in Chairman Winner's garage, it soon becomes clear that the chairman was present. What part of this image shows us that Chairman Winner was still here?
Take that!
Look at the bag next to the Taurosaurus suit. We saw the same bag in Chairman Winner's garage. The same bag, the dirt on the gloves, that has to indicate a connection, surely. I think that pretty much seals it. It was Excelsius Winner in the suit. And if he was in there, the president's body can't have been. Ayah! Good. It seems I've convinced Agent Lang of the flaws in his theory.
Somebody get to Chairman Winner's house right away! We need to know what's in that bag!
Yes, sir.
Y'all done lost your minds? I can't believe what I'm hearing here. What is this hog swill?
This is all we need.
Them right there's Taurosaurus footprints, dang it! Ain't no holes dug by no old guy.
I think I've demonstrated more than adequately that's exactly what they are.
Don't matter to me none what you just done did. I don't believe it, and that's that. I done told y'all, I seen that big bad bull with my own 2 eyes.
The giant eye peering in at the window. I thought we'd gotten past that nonsense.
We ain't about to let that go. What kind of journalists would we be if we did, huh?
Responsible ones. But I guess that's the whole problem.
Wait, it ain't like it was just about the footprints, no how. You were seen fraternizing with one of them there monsters, ain't that correct, young man? By the young lady over there, if I'm not very much mistaken.
We're never going to get anywhere with these two around.
Maybe if we could prove to them that it wasn't a monster either, they might finally drop it. What do you think, Mr. Edgeworth? Any bright ideas?
Prove that it wasn't a monster? Fine, I don't suppose there's much else for it. Let's see what we can do.
What are you two whispering about? Y'all are hiding something, ain't ya? Admit it! Quick, Tabby, roll tape!
Hold it!
Could I politely ask that you both calm down? The monster the boy was seen talking to, we know what it was now.
Huh?
That's right. Sean's rehearsal tape finally cleared up that particular mystery.
It did?
The point at which Miss Nichols thought she saw Sean with Gordy. That would have been right when he was making his rehearsal tape. I think she mistook a certain object for the legendary creature of the lake. Your so-called monster is right here in this picture.
Huh? I don't see no Gordy. That ain't nothing but a dumb snapshot. You're talking to a pro here. Can't fool me with no trick photography.
What was Miss Nichols' Gordy, really?
Take that!
That's right. It was a camera crane. That is what Miss Nichols saw, not Gordy.
Well, what?
Sean's rehearsal tape was shot from a noticeably elevated viewpoint. A viewpoint that would only have been possible if the camera in question was attached to a crane.
Bull! How the heck would she make a mistake like that, huh?
Objection!
How indeed. Miss Nichols,
Yes?
you told us that you think you might need new glasses, didn't you?
Yeah, my eyesight got way worse all of a sudden.
And I imagine that's when you thought you saw Gordy. He was quite heavily shrouded in darkness.
That's right, I only really saw a silhouette. But you done told us! Skin like an enormous worm, you said! Y'all about to try and tell us your precious crane up and grew skin somehow? Ain't even no flesh on them there metal bones, let alone skin.
You're entirely correct, of course, about the crane as it was in this particular picture anyway. But it did have a skin of sort last night.
I knew y'all were a scoop hater, but this is plumb crazy. You want Tabby and me to starve, is that it?
That wasn't my intent at all. But I do think it's time I finally put them both out of their misery. Gordy's skin is right there, here in front of us. It wasn't skin at all. It was this.
Take that!
Miss Nichols told us that it seemed likely to rain last night. That never happened in the end. But I think Sean may have covered the crane with rainproof sheeting nonetheless. And that, my intrepid young reporters, is what Miss Nichols mistook for Gordy's skin.
What? Oh, heck.
Well, Sean, am I mistaken?
You see everything, don't you? Gotta say, you're pretty amazing.
I'm sorry, Miss Hart, but Nichols's monster was no such thing. It was simply a trick of the light.
Oh, and just like that, the dream dies. Again. Chief! I think they may have finally shut them up. I thought the kid was holding out on us. But it seems I could have maybe been a little wrong, maybe?
All right, we know what the so-called monster was now. Everybody happy?
Everybody except these two.
Agent Lang! The President's autopsy report is out, sir. It is? Let me see it. Death was due to full-body contusions and bone breakages caused by extreme pressure from above. So, we have our cause of death. He was crushed. Just as we thought. Test results still haven't come back from the yellow substance found on his chest. But they did find gunshot residue on his right hand.
Gum shop residue? Guess he was a kid at heart, huh?
Gunshot residue, Kay. It's a substance left behind when a firearm is discharged. Its presence indicates that the president may have used a gun.
Really? But we didn't find a gun anywhere, did we?
Indeed not, which makes the residue something of a riddle. We'll need to read that report carefully. Well, Agent Lang, that clears one thing up at least. The president didn't die from a fall, which means he wasn't pushed from the roof of the big building. He was crushed by the falling Taurosaurus head, just as we said he was. Guess I have to accept that now. Fine, you were right.
Amazing! So does that mean Judge Gavel isn't the suspect anymore, either?
Surely it must. Both the cause and time of death rule her out. She met with the president the night before last. But the autopsy report puts the time of death at around 11 p.m. last night. And we know that the Taurosaurus head fell around then too. The facts all line up perfectly.
Phew! What a relief!
Sorry, it might be a little too soon to celebrate. What? Sure, I think we can accept that the falling head must have been what killed the president. But that begs the question of what could have caused it to fall. Or who. We know it happened late last night, so we have to think about who was here at that time.
Overruled.
What are you getting at exactly? You can't mean... I'm afraid I do. You did it, didn't you? Sean! The kid's hiding something. He was right here last night, right where the body was found. He saw the footprints. And yet he wants us to believe he knows nothing about what happened? That's a big ask, Shirley.
Objection!
We haven't yet established if the footprints had anything to do with the murder. So even if he did see them, that doesn't mean he was involved.
Not so fast!
Maybe not, but his face tells me different.
Would you like a glass of sweaty milk?
As does the fact that he's shaking like a leaf. It does seem like Agent Lang might be onto something, but I don't think Sean's going to talk. Fine, keep your mouth shut, kid. I have a better idea. Why don't we let your tape do the talking? What exactly are you planning, Agent Lang? The police have some pretty sophisticated image analysis tools these days.
You would go to such extreme lengths to see my son convicted?
It's not ideal, but if the boy won't talk, we don't have any other way of getting to the truth. Detective Gumshoe, you have access to exactly such a device, do you not?
Sure do, Luby.
Good, then we should make this nice and quick. Mr. Edgeworth, might I request that it be you who carries out the analysis in question?
Why me?
I fear that Agent Lang might be inclined to believe the worst.
Image analysis isn't exactly my specialty, but all right. Are there new clues to be discovered somewhere in the image data, I wonder?
Eureka!
What the?
What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? Let me see, let me see. Eek!
Akuma.
What is it? What's the matter? Show me! Mr. Edgeworth, the court asks that you share your findings.
Zoom in on the top right part of the image and look closely.
There's a person there. It's the president! Oh my! What? You're kidding, right? Well, I'd say that's pretty decisive, wouldn't you?
This doesn't look good for Sean at all.
But wait, this doesn't prove anything. I didn't know he was there. I don't believe you, and the image does in fact prove something very important. That you and the president were here at the scene of the crime together. Admit it, kid. You murdered President Wong.
No, that's ridiculous. Why? Why would he? Sean, you didn't. You can't have. Can you?
What do we do, Mr. Edgeworth? It's hard to push back against footage like that. Surely even you can't deny that this looks pretty bad for the kid, Mr. Prosecutor. He claimed he knew nothing about what happened, but the president is right there with him.
Sean, what are you not telling us? We have to know.
He's right, Sean. Be honest, now. It's the only way. The truth is, it was all my fault. Sean, what did you do? It was my fault the Taurosaurus head fell off of the trailer. I went up to the roof of the trailer to prep the kit I was using, and I turned on the heater while I was there. I must have left it burning when I came back down to run my lines. Then my mom called and I left the set to go talk to her. When I came back after the call, the Taurosaurus head had fallen from the roof and the president was just there, lying next to it.
No. We did find evidence of a fire having broken out up on the roof.
It was just a tiny one, so I put it out myself. So we're saying the president died because of Sean?
If he did, then that would make this whole thing just an accident.
What did you do with the head after you found it on the ground?
I took it apart, carried the pieces up to the roof, and put it back together again.
Not so fast!
You're saying you put out the fire and moved the head back to where it fell from? In other words, you tried to cover your tracks. You're a real piece of work, kid. It's not like I did any of this on purpose. I really did just forget to turn the heater off.
Yes, and when the fire had burned through the legs, the table would have collapsed, and the head
would have fallen down onto the ground below. You're right, the fire caused the head to fall.
Indeed, and I also happen to have an idea about how the fire may have started. Those cans of paint thinner by the heater are pretty flammable, not a great place to keep them.
Not so fast!
And you swear it was an accident? Seems a little convenient. What was the president even doing here in the first place? How the heck am I supposed to know? I didn't see anybody, I swear. I still don't believe you. Why would President Wong come to a place like this in the middle of the night?
His reasons for coming here are something of a mystery, it's true. He met Judge Gavel up on the roof 2 nights ago. But he was also here on the movie set last night. Did he come to meet Sean? I think we'll need to go over the boy's statement very carefully indeed.
Hold it!
Did you notice anything unusual about the body?
I don't know, it was dark.
He suddenly seems even more reticent than usual.
I don't think he wants to go back over that memory any more than he has to, Mr. Edgeworth.
I'm sure he doesn't. But is that really all it is? Should I push him a little more on this? It was dark, but you knew that it was a body nonetheless. He's hiding something. I'd better find out what. Most people would cry out for help if they saw somebody lying on the ground. And yet, you didn't.
Yeah, because, what was the point? He was dead.
So you said. What I'm interested in how you were able to be so sure. Why were you certain that he was dead?
He was lying on the ground and that huge head was right next to him. Didn't take much to figure out what must have happened.
Objection!
You couldn't have guessed that the impact would have killed him. How did you really know? I'll tell you how. Because you checked.
Fine, I checked, okay? I was scared, but yeah, I went up to the body and I looked and he wasn't breathing.
So I was right. But why try to hide that fact? There must be a reason. Could you tell me about how the body looked at that point?
I couldn't tell if he was dead at first. There was no blood or anything, so it was hard to be sure. Nothing on his clothes either. He was completely clean. But yeah, he wasn't breathing. So that's how I knew he was dead.
Thank you. I'd like you to add that statement to your testimony if you don't mind.
I didn't know he was dead at first. There's no blood and nothing on his clothes either. But then I saw he wasn't breathing. That's how I knew for sure.
Objection!
Nothing on his clothes? Nothing at all.
Yeah, nothing. Why? Is there a problem with that?
There's something you're clearly hoping that we've forgotten.
What are you talking about? There isn't. That's not true.
Unluckily for you, we remember it rather well. I'm talking, of course, about the yellow speckles on the president's chest. You studiously avoided mentioning them throughout your testimony. An absence I find suspicious, to say the least.
No,
I hope for your sake that you have a satisfactory explanation.
Overruled!
Judge Gavel?
Allow me to explain.
But...
The yellow residue on the president's chest. I imagine it was from a bouquet of flowers. Lion lilies, to be precise.
Lion lilies?
2 nights ago when I met the president on the roof of the big building. I presented him with a bouquet. They're a type of lily with large yellow petals. I imagine that the substance on President Wang's chest was pollen from those flowers. Huh? But... They're not here. They're in the printout from the security camera. Only because the president is in the way.
But why give him flowers?
That is not something I am at liberty to divulge.
Knuckle fast!
What? More secrets? Are you serious? First you wouldn't tell us why you met with him, and now you can't even tell us about the flowers?
My sincerest apologies, but all I can tell you is that I gave him the bouquet.
Objection!
A bouquet that was nowhere near the body when it was discovered. How do you explain that?
I cannot.
Ha! Seriously, Your Honor? Some things you won't explain, the rest you can't. Come on, you've got to give us something here. You wouldn't let this fly in the courtroom. What makes you think we'll accept it?
Hey! You leave her alone!
Sean!
I threw the flowers away, okay?
You did? So they were there when you first found the body?
Yeah, they were right on his chest. And they were squashed completely flat. Oh, I guess that makes sense, right? They would have gotten crushed along with the president.
And the pollen would have been smeared across his jacket front. That does explain things rather neatly.
Sorry, check on a few things.
But why remove the bouquet and dispose of it?
No reason.
He's almost as evasive as his mother.
More secrets? They're quite a pair.
Overruled.
There is no secret. I know exactly why Sean disposed of the bouquet. Huh? You saw me leave the house with it, didn't you? Oh, I get it. When you saw the flowers on the president's body, you remembered seeing your mom with them.
And felt the need to prevent her from coming under suspicion.
No, you've got it all wrong.
That's his least convincing lie yet.
I often decorate our home with lion lilies. I imagine that's why he remembered.
Not so fast.
So the flowers his mother was carrying showed up on the president's body. And because of that, he got rid of the bouquet and kept quiet about having discovered the corpse. Ha! Well, that ties everything up nicely, doesn't it? A little too nicely for my tastes. Why? What's wrong with nice? I guess you forgot, huh? The kid also told us that he was responsible for the head falling in the first place. Yeah, he did, but... So he's still our only suspect!
Objection.
The finger of suspicion still seems to be pointing firmly in Sean's direction. However... Wait! I can think of a far more likely culprit than the boy.
What? Who?
The person who was holding Sean captive until only a short while ago. That's right, we had to rescue him from a warehouse refrigeration unit down by the harbor.
A refrigeration unit in a depot?
Yeah. Luckily, it wasn't switched on. Poor kid might have frozen into a popsicle otherwise. He was doing his best to call out for help, which is how we found him.
The sedatives weren't off by then, so he was wide awake and plenty loud.
Sedatives? Isn't that what you were given too?
Yep, we found the bottle on the floor of the unit. It was even the same brand. 3 Z's. Apparently it's super strong.
Well, Agent Lang, surely that suggests that Sean is a victim, not a suspect? Somebody else was responsible, and I think they've been behind all of this.
Not so fast.
Oh yeah? And this secret mastermind of yours was here last night too?
That I can't yet say.
Ha! It's not like you to be so vague, Mr. Prosecutor.
Sadly, we just don't have anything to tie our mysterious kidnapper to the murder of the president. So is there anybody else? Somebody other than Sean who could have committed the murder? Of course!
So I was right. The kid is still our only suspect.
Objection.
Not quite. I can think of another.
What?
Somebody who we just recently proved was right here on the movie set last night.
Chairman Winner? You think he killed President Wong?
Why not? We've proven that he was present. And if he was here, he's as viable a suspect as anybody else, wouldn't you say?
Winner? Could he really have?
It's certainly another possibility to consider.
"12 years ago, he was..."
That number again.
Light him up, if he doesn't do so himself first. Look, a lot happened, okay? This was all 12 years ago or more. My father and the president being friends, our family being the ones who kept him safe.
Lang! Like the Lang from 12 years ago?
Yup, good to see that you're finally about to pay for your crimes. Even if it did take a while for you to get what was coming to you.
Agent Lang, what happened 12 years ago?
It's nothing to do with you.
I think it has everything to do with me. It's clearly connected to this case.
Not so fast!
And you can prove that, can you? Go ahead! Show me some proof that what happened 12 years ago has anything to do with this!
Proof?
If you can't prove it, this conversation's over.
Does any of the evidence we've collected show a link between recent events and those of 12 years ago?
Take that!
This is a report about Bronco Knight. It was sent to Chairman Winner by Warden Lagarde. This last part in particular should be of interest to you.
Retrieve the package we laid to rest 12 years ago in front of the planter?
And that's not all. Take a look at this. This letter was sent to Rosie Ringer, the victim of a murder that happened the night before last. We don't know who sent it, but it does say this. Good luck getting your revenge for what happened 12 years ago.
What? But...
Something strange is going on, Agent Lang. Miss Ringer was murdered the night before last, and President Wang not long afterward. There's a connection between the two murders. There has to be. And I believe we can trace that connection to events 12 years in the past. Am I wrong?
These are old wounds you're opening here. Insults to my family name.
Please, Agent Lang, we need to know. Who on earth was that?
How many classified cases that's looking erupt by the time he retires? Oh boy.
Shifu!
Huh? What are you all doing here?
We came to find you, sir. We heard you were looking into the incident from 12 years ago.
Idiots! I'm not your boss anymore! Get back to your duties right now!
We can't do that, sir.
What? You're disobeying a direct order?
Please, sir, I'm begging you. We all are. You have to reopen the investigation into the SS5 incident. We know you can't let it go until you've figured out what happened, and we can't either. Well, Agent Lang, it seems your former underlings want the events of the past explained too.
You think it's that easy? That you could solve the case just like that?
I think we can. Together.
Ha! Well, alright then. Offer accepted!
Yes! Shifu! Shifu! Shifu!
Nice! Then I guess it's my turn to step up.
I'm sorry, Kay?
You're looking into a case from the past, right? I just happen to have something that'll help with that.
Ah, you mean Mr. Thief?
Sure do! If you can give me the details of the incident, I can rustle up a little simulation for you. Sadly, we don't have the files relating to the case. Huh? How come? Access to those files is restricted. They're top secret.
Really? Why?
Beats me. Somebody must have something to hide. Even I've never seen them. Everything I know, I read in newspaper articles from the time.
That's fine. Just tell us what you can.
All right. The SS5 incident happened on a winter's day 12 years ago, February 10th to be precise. Your police received a call directly from the kidnapper. I've got the president of Zhangfa.
So he was kidnapped?
Yeah, SS5 is the official designation of the president's kidnapping case. The kidnapper wanted $100 million.
Wait, that's today.
Holy shit, it is.
What's serendipity?
100 million? How much money even is that?
More than you can imagine, it seems.
The last person to see the president that night was my father. They were together at the embassy of Zhangfa until midnight on the 10th. And nobody knows what happened with the president after that until he was kidnapped. Our government did everything they could to scrape together the money. They were desperate to save him. And in the end, they succeeded. The money was handed over, and the president came home safely.
Lost chat. There we go. So President Wang was head honcho even back then? Wow! Go, Mr. President!
The length of time he stayed in power isn't even close to the most impressive thing about him.
Agent Lang was clearly very fond of President Wang. I assume the kidnapping was thoroughly investigated?
It was, but the investigation was top secret, as was the trial.
The trial? So a suspect was arrested?
Yeah, none other than our friend Fifi Lagarde.
What? Is that why you visited the prison?
It is. I was put on what you might call extended leave from Interpol. So I thought I'd use the time to look into what happened 12 years back. And I wanted to see who I was dealing with.
She was found not guilty then, wasn't she?
Yeah. My father was in charge of the president's security at the time, but they held him responsible for the kidnapping and stripped him of his duties as presidential bodyguard. He stayed on the force though, and he worked the case alone, until eventually he found a suspect, Lagarde. And if he thought she did it, there's no way she was innocent! But they declared her not guilty, and the case went cold. My father couldn't take it. He was broken, mentally and physically. Finally, he quit the force altogether.
So he had solid grounds to suspect Warden Lagarde?
He must have had evidence. He wouldn't have charged her otherwise. But I've never been able to see the materials from the case. I'm sorry, but that's all I know.
What do we do, Mr. Edgeworth? This is useful information, but I don't think it's enough for Little Thief to recreate the scene.
Is there really nothing we can do?
You look like you could use a hand.
Who's this now?
Franziska!
And Mr. Fender!
We finally wrapped things up over at the courthouse, so we thought we'd see what you kids are up to.
Here.
What's this?
It says SS5 Incident Investigation Report.
When Fifi Lagarde mentioned an incident from 12 years ago earlier, I couldn't help but wonder. So I decided to look into it, and this was what Interpol provided.
Nice work, Franziska.
Don't get the wrong idea, Miles Edgeworth. You're no longer a prosecutor. I didn't do this for you. I did it so that a colleague could solve his father's final case.
I owe you, sis. But everything related to the SS5 incident was supposed to be top secret.
Yes, but that classification was applied by the prosecutor in charge of the case, Excelsius Winner.
He was the prosecutor in charge?
Him again!
Don't worry. Due to the outcome of this morning's case, he's been stripped of his authority. An outcome that was in no small part thanks to the efforts of his own son.
Eustace.
I gotta say, I do like the name that was given for this theme before it was properly localized. I believe they called it A First Class Farewell. Don't know what they would call it now, though.
So in defeating his father, he made the old case file available to us? It sounds like we owe him.
Prosecutor Eustace Winner is busy wrapping things up after the conclusion of the Lagarde trial. But he asked me to give you a message. Leave Dad and Lagarde to me. You focus on your case over there.
He's even starting to sound like a prosecutor.
Indeed he is. All right! Now that we have the case file, I can recreate the scene, no problem.
Excellent. Let's get started. According to the file, the incident occurred exactly where the plaza is now.
Then what are we waiting for? With me, everybody!
All right, Kay, if you could set Mr. Thief in motion.
Sure! Looks like there's more than enough here to work with. Where do you want to start?
Good question. Let's see. It seems there was an eyewitness. A freelance journalist by the name of Alf Aldown.
This might have been Jack Cameron, I think. Bug?
But apparently, he was killed by the culprit for witnessing the kidnapping.
Ah, crickets. So this is where he saw it all happen, huh? Here? As in the big building?
No, construction of the big building only began a year ago. Before that, it had been a piece of abandoned property. And before that...
Ha! Now we're getting to the stuff I know. 12 years ago, this place would have been the happy family home.
Like for retired people?
No, it was a place for children without parents. An orphanage, in other words.
The president was kidnapped from an orphanage?
Yeah, and the place was run by Fifi Lagarde. She called it her happy little home. As the proprietor of the institution, I suppose it's understandable that she came under suspicion.
President Wong, Excelsius Winner, and Warden Lagarde? Surely the SS5 incident must be related to our current case. Kay, could you enter the data relating to the murder of Mr. Aldown? It seems sensible to assume that he was killed by whoever kidnapped the president.
So if we solve the murder, we solve the kidnapping. Nice!
All right, we're counting on you.
Well, what the heck is this?
When did I grow to become so blasé towards people's reactions to Mr. Thief? What we're seeing here is the front yard of the orphanage as it was 12 years ago. At least, as far as the police reports describe it.
Yeah, this is how it looked when he started investigating at 7 a.m. the morning after the murder.
And it seems it had been snowing.
Yeah, from what I heard, the footprints wound up being pretty important evidence. The snow fell in the daytime the previous day.
In other words, before the incident occurred. Meaning that none of the relevant footprints would have been obscured by new snow. I think we'll need to pay these footprints some special attention. Alf Aldown, the man who witnessed the president's kidnapping. But what exactly did he see?
I based this part on the recreation of, on one of the crime scene photos.
It seems he suffered a blow to the back of the head.
A pun. Yeah, from that brick right there. They figured it must have been taken from here in the yard.
And it looks like the blood flowed from the head wound and spread over the surrounding area.
Here, a gift for you. This is Mr. Alldown's autopsy report.
Alf Alldown, freelance journalist. Killed after witnessing the kidnapping of President Wang.
Even in the recreation, it's pretty gruesome, huh?
It's even worse in the actual crime scene photos. That's a lot of blood. It seems mostly to have come from the back of his head. As you can see, that area is completely caked.
Yeah, the autopsy report says that's where he was hit with the brick.
Indeed, I imagine his attacker must have snuck up on him from behind. It looks as if he's clutching something in his right hand.
Oh yeah, they mentioned that in the file somewhere. Let's see. According to this, it was a button.
A button? Torn from the attacker's clothing, perhaps? So the victim was carrying a camera.
Oh yeah, according to the file, they recovered a picture. Yeah, here we are.
That's...
It's the president, right?
And somebody's pointing a gun at him. This must be what Mr. Alldown witnessed.
So the person in the trench coat is the kidnapper?
Yes, I imagine they were trying to conceal their identity. But if Agent Lang's father theory was correct, the person wearing that trench coat is Warden Lagarde.
But how come they only found the one picture?
He probably wasn't able to take any more before he was attacked. This was the brick used in the murder.
There's stuff made of bricks all around the yard here. They probably took it from somewhere nearby, huh?
This cell phone must have belonged to the victim.
You're right! Yeah, it says here in the file that Mr. Alldown made a call while he was watching the kidnapping. Break.
A call? To whom?
His girlfriend. Seems he called her when he saw that the president was there. But she didn't pick up, so he left a message. That's in here too, if you want to hear it.
Please. Hey, Rosie, it's me. I guess you're asleep already. Anyway, I'm here at the orphanage. Something weird's going on. President Wang is here for some reason. And there's another... Damn it! The light's out, so I can't quite see, but it looked like he was being kidnapped? Anyway, probably nothing, but I thought I should let you know... What were those sounds at the end?
He must have been attacked while he was still on the phone.
Agent Lang, can I ask you something? Mr. Alldown's girlfriend, what was her name?
Ringer. Rosie Ringer. At least that's what I heard.
Just as I thought.
Wait, you mean...
Her revenge for what happened 12 years ago. All Miss Ringer was left with were the memories and personal effects of her lover. And so, seeking revenge on Chairman Winner, she made her appearance at the auction.
So she really was out for revenge on Chairman Winner, wasn't she?
Perhaps it was his suppression of the kidnapping. Or perhaps it was because she thought he was one of the kidnappers.
Somebody's dropped a yellow flower here. I think this one symbolizes, The desire to steal treasures.
Kay, you can't just make these things up. What we can say is that it looks to be different from all the other flowers in the planter.
Huh. So what's it doing here?
What indeed? We should examine the planters too.
I must be right. Somebody must have stolen it. It's a stolen treasure.
Kay.
I think this one might actually symbolize the growing anger of a former prosecutor.
These planters.
According to the case file, the yard stretched around 3 sides of the orphanage. And there were 3 planters on each side.
Yes, planters arranged in a very particular pattern. One we've seen somewhere before.
Shame there aren't many flowers, but I guess it was the middle of winter.
Yes, but look at that one. It's bright yellow.
Weird. How come there's only one? Wait, it looks like somebody dropped it. That's a lion lily, if I'm not very much mistaken. A rare member of the family, Liliaceae.
A lion lily, you say?
Wait, didn't Judge Gavel give President Wong some lion lilies?
What is the same flower doing here? This can't be a coincidence, can it?
I believe this particular cultivar is from Asia, where it's said to symbolize the bond between parent and child.
I wasn't aware you were so knowledgeable when it came to flowers, Franziska.
Ha! What I just told you is common knowledge. Perhaps you just need to read a little more.
So that's what our monstrous hoof prints really were.
Wait, what?
Recall the arrangements of the prints. Now compare it to that of the planters.
Whoa!
That's right. I believe the footprints are located exactly where our planters once stood.
So Chairman Winter was digging around the front of them?
He was. And why might he have been doing that? We have a piece of evidence in our possession that answers exactly that question. Which piece of evidence shows why Chairman Winter might have been digging in front of the planters?
Take that!
Recall, if you will, the report that Warden Lagarde sent to Chairman Winter. In it, she mentioned something that had been laid to rest in front of a planter.
You think she was telling him where to dig? Wait, but why 3 holes?
Because the report didn't specify which of the planters she meant.
I get it. So he wasn't sure which one it was. Which meant he had to try and dig up all 3.
I imagine so, yes. Poor Chairman Winter.
But why go to all that trouble? What was he looking for?
There are burn marks on this pillar here.
The report says there was a fire sometime on the evening of the incident.
A fire?
Let's see, where was it again? Ah! Yeah, one of the orphans set a fire with some kerosene. Some sort of prank, probably.
They sound like a lively bunch, possibly too lively. It seems their antics spoiled our chances of finding any footprints near the entrance of the building. These footprints stop by the body.
I guess that means they belong to Mr. Alldown, right? His feet were pretty big. What's that? About a size 12? According to the file, they were the same size as his shoes. It's a match.
These footprints go toward the body and come back.
According to the case file, they're thought to be the killers. They're about a size 9. Pretty average, in other words. It seems the police weren't able to track down who the murderer was from them though. 3 planters, covered with snow.
Is anything the matter, Agent Lang?
Yeah, something's not right. I wasn't able to look at the case file until now.
Indeed, you have Chairman Winner to thank for that, it seems.
Yeah, but what's weird is, I've seen this scene somewhere before.
What?
But where? I keep thinking I've got it, but then it's gone.
He appears to be lost in his efforts to remember. Perhaps I should leave him alone for now. I think that's about all we can learn from the scene for now.
All right, how about I try to show you how things looked earlier on that night?
That would be very much appreciated. Could you take us back to the moment at which the victim witnessed the kidnapping?
Sure, I'll use the photograph he took. Here goes nothing.
There's Mr. Alldown in the middle of the planters.
And there's the president and his kidnapper out by the road. My father based his investigation on the evidence Alldown provided. That was why he thought the kidnapping and the orphanage were connected somehow.
And how he wound up suspecting Fifi Lagarde. She was the one running the orphanage at the time.
Exactly. But when the case went to trial, Excelsius Winter put a big hole in that theory.
He did?
Yeah, after all, the president and the kidnapper weren't actually on the grounds of the orphanage. So it was hard to conclusively prove any kind of connection. Huh, so they were never seen inside the gates of the orphanage. Detectives bust a gut to find evidence on the scene, and then prosecutors come along and twist it for their own ends. Winter and Lagarde were working together. They had some kind of deal, I'm sure of it. So you're saying that Chairman Winter was working with the kidnapper?
Your father was convinced that Lagarde was the culprit, correct? And you say he was a gifted and thorough investigator. Then he must have had more to support his theory than just Mr. Alldown's message, surely.
Yeah, he must have. I just don't know what it was. I'm not so steamy yet. My throat sure feels like it. So just a brief moment. All right. It wasn't exactly a case he liked talking about.
Agent Lang's father, Da Long Lang. Trusted ally and confidant of President Wang. He discovered truths that were subsequently suppressed by Chairman Winner. Our first priority should be to find out what they were. If Chairman Winner was involved in President Wang's abduction, then it seems likely that whatever he dug up yesterday had something to do with the kidnapping.
Oh, I get it.
You do?
You bet I do. We're talking treasure, right? Loot. He must have been digging up the ransom money.
The ransom money? $100 million is an awful lot of cash. Burying it would have been a good way to keep it hidden until the heat died down. It certainly seems like a possibility.
Glad you agree.
I must scour the scene and inspect anything that catches my attention.
Hey, that's Snowman. It was melted in the simulation of the morning after the murder, huh? And that muffler was all wet, and its little button eyes had fallen off.
Indeed, it still looked reasonably healthy at this point. Although not entirely, I can see one thing that's missing.
Aw, poor guy. I bet some kid took it as a stupid prank. Not a bad piece of thieving, though. Maybe they had potential.
You think one of the orphans took it? I'm not so sure. In fact, I think it was grabbed by somebody else entirely.
Eureka!
This snowman is missing a certain something, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, his right eye.
Indeed. Luckily, we've managed to locate it.
The button Mr. Alldown was holding. Look at that. It's the same type of button as the other eye and everything.
And if we suppose that the button was indeed the snowman's missing eye, that presents something of a contradiction. What does the button contradict? The victim was clutching the button, and the button was covered with his blood, which means he must have grabbed it after being attacked. Let's run a little hypothetical, shall we? What if, after being struck, Mr. Alldown lost his balance and reached out to grab something to steady himself? The snowman. The snowman wouldn't have supported him, so he would have grasped the button and continued falling.
I get it. So you're saying that he was near the snowman when he was attacked?
I am. Within arm's reach, to be precise. And he's currently nowhere near that close.
Right, but his footprints only go as far as the planter. He never came back this way.
What if they weren't his footprints? I think we need to look at all the prints again.
All right, I'll take us back to the scene where Mr. Alldown's body was found. But if the footprints on the left definitely matched up with Mr. Alldown's shoes, alright? So what's the deal?
Let's take another look and see if we can figure it out. These shoes, as the case file says, they match the footprints, but... These aren't the victim's shoes. I'm sure of it.
What do you mean?
Look at how the laces are tied. Don't they look a little strange to you? What's more, they don't appear to fit properly.
So these prints, they go right up to where the victim was found, and they stop right by his feet.
But they didn't actually belong to him.
So are the prints by his head his? The ones that lead away and come back?
No, I don't think so. They're too small.
So neither set belongs to him? Then how did he get here?
That's easy enough. He didn't walk. He was carried by the killer. So then, where did the murder take place? Was it really over by the snowman, as we suspected? We suspect? I think Mr. Alldown's body was moved. How else do we explain the button clutched in his hand? And that would suggest that he was killed somewhere near the snowman. I'd better take a closer look.
Huh? Look, there's a brick missing here.
The rest of the brickwork looks fine. Strange that just this one is missing. It seems quite likely that the missing brick was the one used in the murder, wouldn't you say?
Oh yeah, now that you mention it, they're the exact same shape and size.
I think we have to conclude that the murder actually happened over by the snowman.
Right, the button came from there, and the brick too.
Indeed, and what's more, if the murderer took the brick from right by the snowman, and then tried to sneak up on the victim all the way over by the planters,
Mr. Aldown would have seen them right away.
exactly. I think we need to update the simulation, Kay. Mr. Aldown wasn't standing by the planters, he was next to the snowman.
Gotcha. All right, here goes. Yeah, no matter how you look at it, this just doesn't work, huh?
Indeed, everybody who was present is in exactly the same spot.
So, where did we go wrong?
One of the pieces of evidence on which we based our simulation must be the source of the problem. What if one of them was faked somehow? But which one was it?
Take that!
Can we really be certain that this picture was taken by Mr. Aldown?
Huh? What do you mean?
We know that whoever killed him moved his body, but why would they have done that? What if they wanted to make it seem like he saw something he didn't?
And then they took the photo to help back up the lie?
They had the president at gunpoint. They could easily have forced him to pose for the picture. He would have had no choice but to comply.
Hey, now that you mention it, they only recovered one picture from Mr. Aldown's camera, right?
Indeed, I imagine his killer probably removed the film that was already in there, then replaced it with another, thereby ensuring that the only picture found was the one they staged.
Yeah, that makes total sense. So this picture was already taken after Mr. Aldown was killed. No way.
And there you have it. The picture doesn't show what Mr. Aldown saw at all. It seems highly likely that it was simply staged to make us believe that was the case.
Wait, so where was the president when Mr. Aldown thought he saw him being kidnapped?
Luckily, the photograph isn't the only piece of evidence we can use to try and figure that out.
Oh yeah, he left that voicemail too.
He did. I think we should listen back to it one more time, don't you? This is surely the only place where the president and his kidnapper could have been standing.
Take that!
Recall this statement from Mr. Aldown's voicemail. Damn it, the light's out. 2 of the lights here in the yard are broken.
Yeah, he must have been talking about the one over by the building.
All right, could you update the simulation to reflect everything we've learned?
Sure. And there we have it.
Nope. And there we have it. The kidnapper was really standing over by the building. Yes, which would certainly have strengthened the theory that they were connected to the orphanage. So they moved the body and staged the photograph to distort the picture painted by the voicemail, which helped them undermine the idea that the orphanage was involved when the case went to trial. Well, that certainly changes what this particular part of the simulation tells us. I imagine it will also affect our understanding of the scene from when the body was found.
Only one way to find out. Ready to make the jump?
To switch between the 2 recreations, I need to first press X to talk with Kay, and then select Switch Recreations. I'll give it a try later when I need it. Mr. Aldown wasn't killed here between the planters at all.
Then what's this blood doing here?
Things have changed considerably in terms of what the simulation is showing us. But if we want to look more closely at this blood, I think we'll be better off looking at the simulation from the point at which the body was discovered.
Then what are we waiting for? I'm ready when you are. What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? You want me to show you the scene as reported in the police's case files, right? Okay, let's take another look at how things were once they found the body. And there we have it.
Blood on the snow, a lot of it. It certainly looks as if a murder occurred here, doesn't it?
Wait, but we just figured out that Mr. Alldown was killed over by the snowman, right?
We did. I think this blood might belong to somebody else.
What? But the police report said the blood was Mr. Alldown's.
Need I remind you that the case was overseen by Chairman Winner? The man would have had no scruples about altering the official record over something this small.
But then why go to all that trouble? Couldn't he have just cleaned up the blood instead?
He wasn't able to. Think about it. He knew that this was where the police would find Mr. Alldown's body, and he knew that the police would have certain scientific methods at their disposal to look for clues.
Oh, you mean luminol? Yeah, they would have found traces of blood if they'd used that for sure.
Exactly. He wouldn't have been able to clean it up to the point where it was undetectable. Far easier to falsify the results of any such tests when they came back in. It would simply have been a matter of replacing the official results with a doctored copy.
Yeesh, so we've been looking at a forgery this whole time? That sucks. Wait, but it says Mr. Alldown's clothes were covered with blood too.
It does, and if they were, which seems entirely believable, it suggests that whoever's blood this is, it wasn't yet dry when Mr. Alldown's body was placed here.
I get it, which means that the other person's blood was spilt not long before Mr. Alldown was killed.
I think it does, yes. But if that's the case, doesn't that present something of a contradiction?
Eureka!
There's a clear contradiction here.
Huh? In the bloodstain?
The blood is clearly cut off where the snow was melted by the fire, which means that the blood in question was spilt before the fire was started.
Huh? But the fire happened before the murder, no?
If we choose to believe the case file, yes. But if the fire was actually set after what happened here,
the kid who lit it might have seen something!
Then why isn't there a witness statement? Because that would have challenged Chairman Winner's versions of events.
We need to know more about this fire. You!
Yes, Shifu.
The fire might have been reported to the police, which means there might be a record of it. Go see if they have anything and bring everything you find back here right away.
Understood, Shifu. I'll get right on it.
One more thing.
What is it, Shifu?
Contact my family back in Zhengfa. Tell them to search my father's office. There should be something there related to the case.
There should? What kind of something exactly?
I told you I'd seen this scene somewhere before, didn't I? Well, I've remembered where. It was in my father's office. He had a picture of it, or at least of something very much like it.
What?
It looked like it was drawn by a child.
Possibly a child from the orphanage. Possibly even the child who set the fire.
It should still be there somewhere. Tell them to send it right away.
Yes, Shifu. Shifu, I'm back. I brought everything the police had on the fire, and I also brought the picture from your father's office. Oh, and one more thing.
About time! What kept you, huh? Well, hand it over.
Let's take a look at this mysterious picture, shall we?
This is it! This is the picture I remember!
Could this be a depiction of something that happened on the night of the incident?
It sure looks like a kid drew it, huh?
Yes, and I'm willing to bet it's the work of the child who set the fire. Shifu, there's...
What now? Look, it'll have to wait, okay? Well, Mr. Prosecutor? Why do you think my father kept this?
I imagine he acquired it at some point during his investigation. Although, I have no idea why he would have chosen to keep it to himself. Could we see the case file for the fire, too?
Sure, here. If you'll just give me a moment to read through it. It seems the boy who started the fire snuck out of bed on the evening of the incident. And then disappeared several days later.
What? Must have been because he saw something, right? No! A kid? Really? That's horrible!
But sadly not unimaginable.
Huh? Looks like the kid left something behind that was put into evidence. Huh? What's this?
That's! But what's it doing in that case file?
What is it, Mr. Prosecutor? Have you seen this somewhere before?
Something very much like it, yes. We have a piece of evidence that could well be connected. Which item of evidence relates to the item that boy left behind?
Take that!
I don't know what it was doing in the evidence for that case, but it looks like that might be the missing horn from this soft toy.
Hey! That was President Wong's!
You've seen it before?
Of course! He always kept it somewhere close by. I remember it because of the missing piece.
I see. It has a special device inside it that plays recorded sound when you twist the horn.
Hey, do you think that maybe putting the horn back on might unlock more recordings?
Huh. You never know. The toy itself should still be up on the 51st floor.
Hey! You heard the man!
Yes, Shifu. I'll go fetch it right away. Here it is, Shifu. The Taurosaurus doll, just like you asked.
Good work. Hand it over to the prosecutor over there.
Well, does the horn found at the orphanage fit the president's plushie?
It fits perfectly. And any more recordings on there?
Hi, Daijun. Sorry, President Wong. It's me, Amelia. I know it's been a while. I saw on the news that you were visiting the country soon, and I didn't know whether I should get in touch at all, but in the end, I decided I had to.
Overruled!
Turn it off! Right now! What's gotten into Judge Gavel?
Are you okay?
Just turn it off, please!
You see, I had a baby, a beautiful little boy. Your beautiful little boy. I'm sorry, that's pretty much all I wanted to tell you. Oh, except I called him Sean. Sean Fenn. It has a nice ring to it, don't you think?
No, it does not.
No! Sean Fenn?
The kid?
And also that I'll be at the orphanage on the evening of the 9th. I'll be waiting in the front yard. I thought you could meet him if you like, even if it's only just this once. I know you're a very busy man, but anyway, that's where we'll be. Goodbye.
What? He was my dad?
I'm so sorry, Sean.
Care to explain what the heck is going on, Gavel?
Sean isn't my biological son. I adopted him.
And he was aware of this?
Yes, of course. His mother, Amelia Fenn, she died 5 years ago.
Darn, that's a name I forgot to grab and see what the fan translation was.
We were cousins, but we were also friends, the best of friends. People often mistook us for sisters. And so, when she died, it seemed only natural that Sean should come and live with me. Of course, we had to keep his father's identity secret, and I decided that the best way to do that would be for him never to know in the first place.
That's quite a lot to learn from a recording made on a seemingly innocent toy. I guess Sean's mother must have recorded the message and then sent the plushie to the president.
Hey,
Yes, Sean?
you're sure he was really my dad?
Yes, I'm sure. Before you were born, your mother worked for a time as a diplomat in Zhengfa.
Makes sense. That line of work might well have brought her into contact with the president.
What? You told me she worked at the orphanage!
She did, but only after she returned, after she quit the diplomatic service. She always loved helping others. The orphanage was perfect for her.
Not so fast!
Sorry, Judge Gavel, but I have to ask. Amelia, the lady who asked the president to come, why didn't she show up herself? Why isn't she anywhere in the files related to the SS5 incident?
She never made it to the rendezvous that night. Someone was tailing her.
I'll bet that was Chairman Winner's doing, though sadly we can't prove it.
And because she couldn't make it, she never saw the president again.
Then she died 5 years ago. This can't be easy for Sean.
Hey, Sean, are you thirsty? We could go get a soda? My treat, okay? Come on, I think I saw a vending machine over. You think I can't buy myself a soda? This is important, and it's about me. I'm staying. Oh, that didn't work at all. Sean, perhaps now you can guess why I met with the president 2 nights ago.
Good try, though, okay?
So that's it. That was the big secret.
I wanted to tell him face to face that Amelia was gone, but also that you were alive and well, more than well. But I...
It makes sense now. No wonder Judge Gavel was so keen to avoid sharing the details of their meeting.
Yeah, she would have had to share the truth about Sean, too. That was why I took the lion lilies with me. So there would be no doubt that I knew Amelia, and that I knew her well. These flowers bore special significance for the 2 of them, you see. President Wong gave Amelia a bouquet of lion lilies in the early days of their romance. But now, he too is dead. If only he had lived, Sean might finally have been able to get to know him.
Shifu! I've been waiting for the right time to say this, but... What? What is it? You've been hovering there this whole time! Can't it wait? They sent something else from Zhengfa. President Wang's will. What? The president's will, huh? He gave my father medal after medal. They had to come up with new ones just for him. In the end, there was no medals left to give, so he made us the keepers of his last will and testament. Those medals, that duty, they're our greatest pride, our family jewels. What? This is... What is it, Agent Lang? Does it have anything to do with our current case? You could say that. Seems he was planning on publicly acknowledging Sean as his son.
Sean's name appears in the president's will?
And we're certain that the document is authentic? That President Wong wrote it himself?
Yep. Lang's been here for a while.
Sure we are. It's old, but it's real. My family took charge of it back before the SS5 incident happened. They'll want to analyze it back home to be sure, but I'd stake my name on it being the genuine article. Wang was a renowned world leader. A child nobody knew about would have been sure to cause a stir.
Why is she sad? You missed the whole revelation about Sean being her kid, and that her kid, well, not being her kid, but her adopted kid, and that he was his father was the president.
And yet he chose to mention the child in his will nonetheless. Well, that's that, I guess. I still can't quite believe it, but the president confirmed it with his own hand. There's no denying it. Sean, you're President Wang's son.
Sean!
Sean!
Wild world of international diplomacy, kiddo. And completely on accident, too. Throat says no. No more. But yeah. Ara. I don't know what you mean by that. You just clicked on the wrong thing. What is it? Not in there? Should be. Oh my god. No, don't. Why is it telling me about my own power-ups and rewards? There we go. Yeah, it's still right there. Train whistle. No, I don't do it. I don't do it. It's a sound redeem. And I also realized I needed the game audio on for that one. There it goes. It's not exactly that they're not on then, it's just that this screen has like the audio for the computer muted. I didn't want it, it's difficult linking up audio from a console to the computer and, you know, having them not overlap. I'm sure there's better ways to do it, but nobody has told me them. So it's jury rigged, so I just do it that way. Let's see. Feels like forever since I've last been able to see her, so let's go see Mia. Doing some FF14. We've arrived at our destination. Please watch your step as you disembark. Please follow if you liked. Thanks for watching. Peace be with you, and may the forces of evil be confused on the way to your home. Bye.